The history of the last 40 years of the NHS being shafted by subsequent governments in under 3 minutes. Let's go. No government has given a toss about the NHS since 1973. True story. 1973, when American company McKinsey was asked to come help and restructure the NHS. McKinsey is the same company that oversaw rail privatisation in this country. So, I think you can see where this is going. And then with Thatcher, it was pretty simple. It was literally the case of letting hospitals rot, and the Community Care Act tentatively opens up the NHS to the markets. Blair comes along and promises to put a stop to that nonsense by inviting American healthcare companies in to once again help restructure the NHS. But at least they increased NHS funding, they hired more staff, they brought down waiting lists. And David Cameron inherited an NHS in as good a state as it's possibly ever been. But whilst Labour were investing in the NHS, they were also beginning to sell bits of it off, or more accurately, put it out to tender. Tony Blair said that he wanted the NHS to become a kite mark and a funding stream. There you have it, a kite mark, a badge that you put on services that are no longer being provided by the government. It's a sticker you shove on an underpaid zero-hour immigrant hospital porter's overalls. This government endorses this product. It's a franchise. It's the Golden Arches. It's become a brand, not a service, and now the stage is set for over a decade of Tory rule. By 2008, the Unsustainable Providers Act means that for the first time an NHS hospital can now go bankrupt. Moving on to 2012, the Health and Social Care Act, which is an utter disaster for the NHS. NHS England becomes a quango, no longer under direct control of the Department of Health, a non-government body. The denationalisation of the NHS in plain sight. They hide their cuts by ignoring inflation. It's sleight of hand, but done by a really crap magician with no thumbs. Right now, 3/5 of mental health beds in the UK are owned by American companies. And whatever you want to call them, health maintenance organisations, accountable care organisations, doesn't matter what you call them, they are health companies who are in it for the money. Integrated care systems. Wherever you see or hear this phrase, you know you are dealing with cuts, restricted treatments, centralisation of hospitals, downgrades and mergers, and the shrinking of the NHS patient menu of comprehensive healthcare. The whole plan all along has been to turn the NHS into a health system that mirrors the American health system. A two-tier system whereby those who can afford healthcare get it, and those that can't end up with state-subsidised healthcare that isn't fit for purpose but is turning a decent profit. Boom! Stop the clock. And with seconds to spare, here's the news.